I should be going to sleep, but I feel like I need to make this content before I go to sleep because I'm reading the Blake Lively deposition and this is so embarrassing to read. Okay, so, sorry, I thought it was on the right page. Do you believe that you were personally SH'd in connection with the making of the film It Ends With Us? Attorney Hudson, objection. Blake, yes. Who do you believe SH'd you? Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath? Anyone else? If you're asking if my gender played a role in the behavior towards me, I would add Steve Sarowitz to that. This is where it gets rich, okay? How did Steve Sarowitz SH you? He was the chairman of the studio, is my understanding, and this is the studio that I was raising concerns with. And instead of addressing concerns, I believe that I was dismissed. And so, to use my own description, I do believe my gender played a role in how I was treated. Did you ever discuss with Steve Sarowitz the fact that you were SH'd? No. Did Steve Sarowitz ever say anything to you that you felt was inappropriate or made you uncomfortable? To me, no. Did Steve Sarowitz affirmatively do anything himself that made you feel uncomfortable or you felt was inappropriate? I felt him attending the birthing scene was inappropriate. When was the birthing scene? May of 2023. What did Justin Baldoni do to SH you? Attorney Hudson, objection. Can you be more specific? Sure. You're claiming that Justin Baldoni SH'd you, correct? Yes, it's a long complaint. Is that yes? Yes. What did he do to SH you? Attorney Hudson, objection. There were a series of things. Do you recall the first thing that he did where you felt you were SH'd? Attorney Hudson, objection. Her answer. There were things that he said and did where at the time you feel confused by someone's behavior or words being at odds with who they say they are, and you start to see different pieces come together, and the workplace feels overwhelming, so there were different moments. What is the first thing you recall? I recall him telling me that he's circumcised. When did he tell you that? In December of 2022. And where were you physically when he told you that? At my apartment. Was that the same meeting that we were previously discussing or a different meeting? It was the same meeting. And how did that come up? Were you discussing something or it just came up out of the blue? I was pregnant and I didn't know the gender of my child, and we were discussing different decisions that parents make and different factors, having boys versus girls. I only had girls, and we were discussing the different medical decisions people make these days, including circumcision for male babies. And did he bring that up or did you bring that up? I don't remember. What did he say about circumcision? He told me the decision that they made for their child, they being him and his wife, Emily, and then he offered that he was circumcised. And did you say anything in response to that? I was in shock. You say we were in shock. You couldn't speak, or I don't know. I don't know what I said or did. Did you tell him that you were offended by it? No. Did you discuss with anyone the fact that you were offended by him saying that? Yes. Who did you discuss that with? My husband. Attorney Hudson, objection. About what? Can you be more specific? About him being circumcised. About him being circumcised. That's all I remember. Did his comment in any way cause you to reconsider whether you wanted to do the film or not? I found it disturbing, but given that it was one comment and he seemed nice, I wrote it off as him taking a benign conversation too far and hoped and assumed it would be an isolated incident. Did you ever tell him that he had taken that comment, and by making that comment, he had taken that too far? Yes. Okay. When did you tell him that? Me personally? Yes. I believe the date was January 4th, 2023. Prior to January 4th, 2023, had you told him that he had taken that too far and that was an inappropriate comment? That specific comment? Yes. No. Is there a reason why you didn't say that to him? There are a lot of reasons. He was my boss. He was your boss at that time. Not at that moment, but later. You ask why I didn't say something later. Is there a reason you didn't say something at that time? Attorney Hudson, objection. I believe I already answered that. Did you discuss with Warren Zavala that comment that was made? I don't believe so, but I don't recall. Did you discuss with anyone else that represents you, like your manager or your agents or anyone else like that, that he had made that comment? Attorney Hudson, well, objection to the extent that question calls for attorney-client privileged communications. If you can answer that question without what works, and it skips. What works better for me is to not read the book in advance because it is hard for me to see the blind spots in the film because you can't unlearn what you know from a book. You can't fill in story or character holes from what you know from a book. So I like to look at the film as its own piece to make sure that it works on its own. In April of 2023, did you know that there were S scenes in the novel It Ends With Us? Yes. And did you know that what S scenes there were? I don't understand your question. Sure. The book It Ends With Us has S scenes within the book, correct? Attorney Hudson, objection. I believe so, yes. You're not sure though, right? I know there are S scenes in the book, yes. Did you read the book? No. Guys, I can't. How did you know that there are S scenes in the book? And then it skips. Okay, so moving on to page 83. Hi, good afternoon. I just want to walk through some of the other allegations of SH. One of the things that is alleged in the amended complaint is, I believe that you're saying that Justin complimented your outfit. Is that correct? Attorney Hudson, objection. No. Are you saying that one of the instances of SH or something that made you otherwise uncomfortable was there was one day in which Justin commented on how much he liked your outfit? No. Did Justin ever say anything inappropriate or that bothered you concerning an outfit that you wore? Attorney Hudson, objection. There was an incident that made me uncomfortable, yes. And when was that incident? Late May of 2023. Do you recall the date? I don't know the exact date, no. And do you recall where that took place? Yes. Where did it take place? On a set, a bar set, when we were rehearsing. That was that bar scene? No, we were rehearsing that scene, but no, it was not the scene. It was when I arrived at work. And can you tell me what happened? Can you be more specific? Sorry. Sure. What about whatever happened there made you feel uncomfortable? I had a newborn baby and I had a jacket on and that was covering my dress underneath. And I bent down to pick something up and the jacket opened and my dress was low cut because it was easier to feed my baby. And Mr. Baldoni said Justin said in front of, I remember in front of Jenny Slate, and I don't remember specifically who else was there, but he said, I like your outfit, and he gestured at the chest. You just made a movement of your hand. Yes, it's hard for the court reporter to mark those down. What do you mean he made a gesture of his hand and said, I like your dress? He gestured across the chest. Did he gesture across your chest or his chest? He said, I like your outfit. He moved his hand up and down, like above and below his chest or your chest. I was standing in front of him, so I don't know whose chest, but he didn't touch my chest. Okay, if that's what you're asking, when he made the gesture in front of his chest, was his arm closer to his chest or closer to your chest? I don't recall. And what were you doing during this time? Was it during a rehearsal or some sort? We weren't rehearsing the scene yet, but I was on the set to rehearse the scene. And who else was present, if anyone?